Okay, so we just completed a mock timeline with a fake client just to protect client privacy so that you can see how it works. There's a longer video that outlines the actual timelining process with the person, so you can get an idea that it takes about 30 minutes. It can take up to an hour, just depending on if you tell stories as you write things, up to you. So you want to make sure that you have lots of colors, just to make each category visually pop, we say. Very step one is you want to make even hash marks for the number of years that you've lived so far. This allows us to see areas of life that are congested. So make even hash marks. If I weren't leaking off the page here, I would have gone until 35 and made them even to here. But for the board's sake, I stopped at my magnets. So let's talk about these categories. For your living situation, you're going to make little mini timelines of the place where you were born, line X when you moved, and then the other place that you lived, line X when you moved, all the way. Repeat for schools. Where were you going to school? How long? Line X switch, line X switch, all the way down. Jobs, same thing. Anything that you've made money doing. It does not have to be formal jobs. It can be babysitting, etc. So taking care of your brother counts, and mowing lawns, etc. So outline the different jobs that you had. If you had multiple jobs at a time, then just have them next to each other and just do individual timelines in that same box for multiple jobs at once. And that way you can see them overlapping. Friends, you can see, is a little bit bigger space than everything else. That's because we definitely have to do a timeline for each friend. So write down the significant friend that you had and then however long it lasted. It seems kind of brutal to put an X. Notice that these aren't perfect. I do have people that make very aesthetically beautiful timelines. I was human about mine, so forgive me. So yeah, friends all the way. You can indicate with dotted lines if friendships have kind of fizzled out, etc. Sexual. This is where you want to put crush. First, aware of your sexual impulses. Any wanted or unwanted sexual encounters. Of course, unwanted sexual encounters are going to be repeated down in the traumas. And so any pornography use, any gender identity issues, anything that has to do with sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, encounters with people, with your body, on that line. And again, if things overlap, just let them overlap like that. Spiritual. So how do you connect to God, the universe? What were you exposed to? What have you explored? What do you think happens when you die, etc.? Sports, hobbies, music, extracurricular things. So these will also be individual timelines. As you can see, there's overlap between playing soccer and video games and the kind of music that you're into, and etc. And then births is siblings, foster people, adopted people. This can be your own children, nieces, nephews, etc. Anyone that comes into life while you are alive matters, because it changes things even if you don't know them that well. So siblings, children. If you have been pregnant and miscarried or had an abortion, you can put it here. You can also put it under death or trauma. It just kind of depends on how that affected you. So whatever makes sense to you. I would skip anything else not mentioned but noteworthy until you finish all the categories. So medical health and mental health. This person indicated that the parents had some mental health and medical health issues because that affected him. And then some random ankle twists. And then you can put different seasons of emotions here, stressful events, etc. Substances, that's dopaminergic, so that also includes addictions. So you can see this person for substances, put an online poker issue down, even though that's not a substance. And like if you started using something and then you stopped and then you picked it back up, you can indicate it like that. Caffeine and sugar are drugs. I would put those on there as well. We don't just use them for no reason. And if you watch any of my videos or you're my client, you know how I feel about sugar especially. But caffeine is usually stimulant for inattention under arousal. I'm digressing. Deaths. Anybody who has died, you can put abortions, you can put miscarriages here, whatever works for you. Traumas, anything in your life that has happened that still causes an negative emotional reaction when you think about it to this day. That's what we mean. So parents fighting is traumatic. Mom leaving, grandma getting sick, etc. Those are traumatic. So check out, this is the coolest part of doing a timeline. Superior to a talking assessment where you just ask questions, you can develop so many themes. When we zoom out from this guy, check out his life. So he is born to an alcoholic dad and a bipolar mom, and they fought all the time, and then his dad died and his mom left him and his brother, so they had to move in with grandma. And then his grandma died and he moved in by himself because she left him some inheritance money, but he went totally off. Before he was an MVP, got good grades, he listened to oldies with his grandma, he got into just some pornography stuff with his friends and had some girlfriends or whatever, had sex, you know, typical experimentation for a young guy, he says. And then when all this happened, he had to transfer schools, he lost all of his friends, he had to switch jobs. He became friends with a guy that wasn't a great influence. He became a player, had tons of sex, even had to have an abortion because he got one of the girls pregnant. He was super angry and he started using substances. Grandma died. So it's just so nice in the timeline when you can see that something is just like affects a whole person's life. And then you can kind of see if there's instability in where they lived or if they moved a lot, that can mean something. Look at the fact that when he got married, he started having an online poker issue and he was depressed. That doesn't sound like newlywed happiness stuff. And then you see later that he's talking to a girl at work and he starts watching pornography again. So something's happening. He talks about his kids being stressful. He lost a lot of weight, so he was looking good. And then he got a lot of anxiety, started talking to this girl, started smoking again. So you just can kind of step back and you can tape this up anytime you're processing for yourself, if you're doing this on your own or with your client, and you really, really get to see a person's life externalized. And it's really awesome just to get it on paper and to see, wow, I've been through a ton. This shows me that I'm not crazy for feeling the way that I feel. So I hope that this helps. They're $10 if that's worth it to you. And I love it. It has transformed my work with my clients, and I hope it's helpful for you. You can get it at rightmindwellnesscenter.org. That's just my social media handle, but rightmindwellnesscenter.org, you can buy it, and I hope that it is helpful for you. See you later.